Hey everybody. So if there's something that I love talking about, it's definitely talking about how to stop negative thinking. And there are so many things that constantly happen in our heads all day long. And so we have to be aware of them so we can combat them. And on my new blog on carlycaminetti.com, I go through 7 of the most common ways to talk negatively to yourself so that you can work against it. The first one of those is catastrophizing, thinking that even there, though there's just maybe a small mistake, that you might be losing your job. And I know we're living in weird times, so that might be happening more often than not. But trying to not go from this like very small thing and going 10,000 steps down the runway to say, oh, actually, this might be what could happen. When you do that, recognize it and tell yourself to cut it out. The second way is to really get into this method of all or nothing thinking. So, one of the examples on the blog is if you go on vacation for like a week or 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden your brain's saying, oh my gosh, I don't want to go back to the gym. I'm so out of shape. No, you're not. You just had a couple of weeks that you maybe didn't give it your all, but that's okay. That is completely okay. And it's really remarkable how fast the body can actually get right back into shape even after a week or 2 weeks. Like it really just takes a couple of days. The biggest thing to overcome is actually your mind telling you that you can't. But once you put yourself in a gym, you'll see your body will just do what you're asking it to do. So put yourself on a treadmill and see if you don't actually walk. Let me know. Let me know if that happens. I would be kind of concerned about that. The third type is mind reading, just assuming that you know what other people are thinking. How many times have you done that? It reminds me of dating apps, actually, because there are so many times in my previous lives where I would wonder, why isn't this person responding to me? And I would make up all of these other reasons that the person wasn't responding to me, including the fact that he just was never going to text me back again. In all actuality, I had no idea if this person was going to contact me or not, and why he wasn't contacting me, I don't know. But there are many, many reasons that somebody might not get back to you right away. And so, really being careful if we're starting to try to predict what other people are thinking. And the fourth type is fortune telling. So, predicting negative outcomes. This is an example I can give of this is like, oh, before you take an exam, for example, before my coaching exam, if I would have been thinking, oh, this is not going to work out well, I'm not going to pass this exam, that's not helpful. That's not a helpful thought. And in fact, the only thing it is helpful for is for me failing the exam because it's all about the attitude. If we really are telling ourselves that we can't, then we probably won't be able to. So, really, in thinking about something that is in the future, remembering that you can only focus right now on the present of how you're reacting to whatever the situation is. And that means that you can choose how to think. You don't have to think negatively. You can also think positively. All right, the fifth kind is personalization. So taking blame for everything. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Like this whole culture that we live in of saying sorry. When I was directing my team, if they said sorry about something, it was like a joke. We actually had to come up with an acronym for it, SNS 2022 or 2023 or 2024. Sorry, not sorry. It's sorry, not sorry 2023. So they all knew that that was code if I was replying to them SNS 2023, that they didn't need to worry about it this year. They didn't need to say, I'm sorry. It's okay for people to make mistakes, especially at work, right? And so really, truly not apologizing for things that really aren't a big deal. And like, even if it is your fault, it's okay. Like, people make mistakes. You don't need to apologize every single time for every little detail. I'm not saying to never say I'm sorry. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying like you don't need to take blame for everything. There's plenty of opportunity for you to just be chill. All right, the sixth type is mental filtering. I love this one because somehow, even though there's tons of positives that could be assumed about something, you're just focusing on the tiny little negative possibility that could be out there as well. So when you do that, again, you have to tell it to stop. You have to get a hold of it and say like, I don't want you to be doing this anymore, because it's really a threat to your brain if you're focusing just on the negative. And again, if you keep doing that, then you get practice with focusing on the negative, and over time that's all you're going to focus on. So you're just going to hear the criticism. You're not going to hear the compliments. And so if that's not how you want to live your life, then recognize that that's something that you maybe do too much and you want to cut it out. And then number seven, which is so common, is overgeneralization. So when we say things like, oh, my boss always does that, or he never talks to me this way, or she always is late. When we start to think about things like that, like those are all probably going to be A, negative, and B, not true. Like those two words, always and never, keep it in mind. Just listen. Listen to yourself and listen to other people and see if you can detect when people are making these gross generalizations about things. And I say gross, meaning both gross as in big and also gross as in ew. Like, let's not, and say we did. Yeah, really just thinking about how we can eliminate those overgeneralizations so that we become happier and healthier people that are more focused on the positive. So, there's more information on my website about this and also the methods to actually stop the negative self-talk come after that. So you'll have to go read the blog to check those out. And they're all things that I do. I love this blog actually because I practice all of these things and I'm happy to share it with all of you. So again, you can go to carlycaminetti.com. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, please go find me there and I would love to be in touch. Hope you make it